So what do we think about Xavier Worthy? So Xavier Worthy did what he needed to do so that he can remain a Kansas City Chiefs player. He got himself in trouble with the law, so he's officially a Kansas City Chiefs player. So congratulations to Xavier Worthy. In all seriousness, in all seriousness, he was arrested this weekend for, I believe it was a total of, I don't know, 10 hours over an alleged domestic dispute. So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. Some of them I will say publicly, some of them I will not, because I know way too much information about the situation. But what do you all think? How do you all feel about this? Like when you first saw it, obviously he's out now. Come to find out, the girl was hitting him and he was asking her to leave and all of these other things, but he's officially out. But what do we think about these athletes who can't stay away from these women who are not good for them?
And not charged. He's out, but he's also not. I know you said it, but
they dropped all the charges. Yeah,
they dropped the charges. Yep. Street, what's your thought, bro?
Is it the same girl that he was throwing the money on in the bathroom?
I believe so. Yep.
Let's see. Let's see if we can track her down.
I don't want no parts, old girl. She's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Hey, throw that up there. You see that?
Nope. Yep. Damn. It was all good just a week ago.
Same girl, right? Ain't it?
Oh, damn.
That's her.
Yeah, I remember before the season started, he got his car stolen. He was throwing the money up. And everybody was all bent out of shape about it.
I remember they was in the bathroom and they were throwing the money around. I remember that. That's when I think he was still at Texas at the time. I think he was still at Texas.
No, he hadn't.
He had just got drafted.
Okay. He just gotten drafted.
All right.
Same girl. She ran track for
Same girl. Same girl. Yep.
So hold up. Really Flawed knows the most about it. What do you know about it, Really Flawed? Somebody got gagged or something, right? Choked, the fake choked.
I think the allegations were she pulled. Apparently, the whole story is he caught her cheating, saw some text message or something, whatever, and had been asking her to leave for a week or two. And then I think in the documents, it said that she was like pulling his hair and doing all this stuff. And once you get called in Williamson County, for those of you that know anything about Williamson County, somebody is going to jail, and it doesn't matter if you broke somebody's fingernail. Somebody's going to jail, period, full stop. Somebody's going to jail. And so they took him. And then obviously what it seems like happened is once he was in there and more came out and the whole story came out, what it sounds like is they released him. That's what it sounds like happened. But yeah, so that was the thing, is she was cheating and he tried to ask her to leave for 2 weeks and she would not. So they got into it.
Shout out to Ellen MVP in the building. People cheat every day, B. I love it, Ellen.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Much love to you. Yeah, that's what I heard.
For 2 weeks.
See, he was trying to get her out of there for 2 weeks.
So here's my problem. And I guess you try to be diplomatic because you don't have all of the information. I understand that. But taking what you know on its face value, trying to get you to leave for 2 weeks, you won't leave. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know the rules about people being evicted and once they get mail there and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. I guess my question is, for all the lawyers out there, even though I am a law expert, as I'm watching The Good Wife, another law curriculum, where does the law say, if I own this home, I know you live there, but it's inevitable that conflict is going to happen. I'm trying to get you to go away. I own this domain. I know you get mail there, and I understand all of that. But at some point, where's the reasonable part of, okay, the owner of the home has probably more rights to the home than the person. I won't want to say visiting because he probably lived there, but he owns the home. They're not married, so they don't have equal value in the home. At some point, like, bruh, she got to go.
And how long do I have to ask you to go? Like, what's the time limit? Do I have to ask you a week, 10 days, 7 business days? Like, get out.
Not including holidays and weekends, right?
Like, if it's a holiday, do I skip that day? Like, how does this work? Like, I don't know. I mean, somebody in the chat said common law marriage, but they hadn't been together long enough for a common law marriage. I think that's 4 or 5 years or something like that. I don't know. I have a bigger issue with the fact of, like, just stop, don't be in that situation. Like, if you're trying to remove somebody and they're not moving and you know you have a lot to lose, do something different. Don't do what I would do. I don't need to lose, right? I'm going in there and I'm going to remove you from my home. However, he has a lot to lose. Call somebody out. Like, do make a different decision. Why put yourself in the middle of this is my question. Like, you couldn't call anybody else? You had to go take care of it? I don't know.
I think it's that pride though, Street. Like, this is my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta leave my domain. And what you're saying, you're not wrong whatsoever, Flaw. You're really not. I understand the bigger heads prevail, right? However, this is not like we on the street having an argument and I can turn in, I should retreat. This is my house.
And you should be able to stand your ground. We don't have the stand your ground law. My thing is, and I'm going to say this very carefully. These athletes have agents and a lot of people who work for the agents and a lot of people who also work for these organizations. They don't have to do any of these things on their own. There is always at least a minimum of 2 people that they can call. When you get drafted and you're on an NFL team, they give you 2 people that you can call if anything goes south. 2 people. So these athletes do not have to make these decisions. They get free Uber credits. They get a lot of things that the normal people don't get. So when I say call somebody, no, I'm not saying call the police. What I'm saying is you have people that are employed by your NFL team and your agent that take care of these things. It is literally their job. Call them. Hey,
put that picture back up there, Hayes. Put that picture back up there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see all this?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all see all this? See all this? See all this?
That's a lot of investment, dog.
You talking? Listen. You see all this? Look at this. Look at this.
Nobody else and you.
Yeah, he said he asked her to leave, right? But we all have went through breakups before, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's going on. He's young. He got a big house. Like, you know what's going on. Yeah, he asking her to leave. He antagonizing her at the same time. He don't really want her to leave at the same time. And at that point, I don't think he's mature enough to deal with what's going on.
Well, I was taught if you're not mature enough to deal with the situations that you're in, then get out of that situation. Don't get in the situation.
Yeah, but they don't know they're not mature enough. That's the problem. If I'm the breadwinner, I feel like I'm mature enough. This is no different in essence of maybe the lack of a better term, maybe Travis Hunter, but maybe the Travis Hunter situation, right?
Exactly.
You got all this evidence, but apparently with them, he had evidence of her cheating. Travis Hunter don't have evidence of cheating. She was just in some music videos and whatever, and she said certain things, and people drug him through the mud for it, right? This dude found evidence, says, hey, you got to dip. Now, again, that was 2 weeks. He probably caught her 2 weeks before that, and maybe a week before that. But I guess to your point, Stu, right? You said they are immature, but they don't know that they are not. Come on, dog. We was all 21, 22. We was grown as hell.
He probably confused. He just got $1 million contract, and she just gave something to her high school sweetheart who worked at UPS. He probably don't even understand. He probably like, how did that even happen?
He knew. I'm just gonna say he knew.
That boy
this isn't a shock.
My packages.
This isn't a shock. He knew.
Damn. He knew what?
He knew. What, this isn't.
He knew. Rarely know. We know.
He knew. This isn't a first. Like, come on. Like, he knew. My thing is, when you know and you get the first signs and the second signs and the third signs and you still don't leave and you end up in a situation like this, at this point, I'm holding you accountable. How long do you?
Why do you think he knew? Tell us why you think he knew.
I know he knew. If you know anybody that knows this couple, if you know anybody that knows this couple, everybody knew. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't like, no, like, come on. That's all I'm saying. Now, my thing is I'm separating the relationship from this incident because you know who you're dealing with. You know who you're dealing with. So handle the situation according to who you're dealing with. If I'm dealing with somebody that I know is a hothead, I need to handle that situation accordingly. Like, I'm not going to break up with a hothead the same way I would break up with a guy who's calm, cool, and collected. I'm going to change my behavior based on the type of guy I'm dealing with.
Why are you talking in code? Why are you talking in code? Like, what is it he knows? What is it you know about? Is that she your cousin or something?
No. That's my homegirl.
Wait, who is she?
That's my homegirl. That's my homegirl. That's my homegirl.
All in the family.
It's my homegirl.
Watch out.
What is it you know that we don't know?
Well, sometimes you know things that you know, and you just have to keep them to yourself. I'm just saying.
Okay.
This is it. Like, yeah.
So, okay, so here's my thing.
You might be able to Google it. Let me see if you can Google it.
He may have, okay, so it seems to be maybe some mutual combat in there, like she was whipping on him. Apparently he choked her because it says he was charged on assault of a family or household member in which their breath was impeded.
In which their
breath
okay.
was impeded or choking in common terms.
Breath was impeded.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Breath was impeded, but in common terms, it's choking. I hear what both people are saying. I think I'm giving the benefit of the doubt of the immaturity because of age. In Flawed, you make 100% sense from a mature standpoint, right? But when I look at this situation, I guess I got to give him some credit that, hell, it's been 2 weeks he's been asking him to leave. At some point, everybody got a breaking point, bro. Like, it's been not 2 days. For 2 weeks, I've been asking you to leave. Now, as we all say, where are the people around him? Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't know. Maybe he didn't give, maybe they're not privy to the information. Yeah, they know they're going through a rocky time, but maybe they don't know what's going on within the house every day, so forth and so on. Where's mom? Mom was a big part of his recruiting. Mom was a big part of his college career. And she's at the games and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying she gave perfect advice, but man, God, dog, bro.
Go ahead. Who?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Put that up there, Hayes. Put that up there, Hayes. His mom. Where is his mom? She look like she's been around the block once or twice. She understand what's going on. Where's mom?
Damn.
Where's mom?
Damn. Mom is fly.
We need mom to show her face right now. Where you,
mom is fly. Mom knows. Mom knows what's up.
Damn! Look at that big ass pocket. Who's the comedian? Lisa, come look at this plane. Lisa, come look at this plane they in.
Mom knows what's up.
Hey,
where is mom? I know mom know what's going on.
Yeah.
Mom
But
probably
that's the
been
thing.
trying to tell him, Mom. Mama probably tried to tell him first.
But that's right, and that's the whole thing. And that's why I'm like, you have options. Like, what are you? I don't know. I don't understand why people get into situations and the situation is just deteriorating, and then you're just not doing anything to fix it. I always say, you have options. These athletes have options. Multiple people full of options. They have their agent. A, they pay their agent. Their agent is an employee of them. And B, you have the team you play with. So what are you doing? Why are you in this situation? No, I don't know how they treat women in women's sports. I know for a fact the men in professional sports have multiple options and people they can call that are there to get them out of trouble and to get them out of bad situations. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
But you know what fraud is?
You ever went through
What?
Really Flawed?
What?
You ever caught your boyfriend cheating?
I can't hear you.
Have you ever caught your boyfriend cheating?
Yeah, when I was younger. Yeah.
Young, how young are we talking?
Oh, that's better.
Probably. I was in my 20s.
And in that moment, right? Like, were you like all together and you were like, you know what? I'm gonna call the people that take care of this. Calvin.
Calvin. Why you gotta be Calvin? No, I wasn't
my NFL rep.
I wasn't calm, but I also realized that I had a decision to make because I couldn't overpower him. So even if I go and attack, I knew the outcome. But again, I knew also who I was dealing with. And I think that's my whole point. I will say though, one thing that I do is I am a thinker. I don't react. Like most things that I do, I'm not usually a reactive person. So maybe that's why, and I told you, Hayes, before we joined, these situations are hard for me because that's not how I'm wired. I don't react. Right. I'm not, that's not.
And I think we were talking about, and the thing is being a thinker, because you ain't want to walk out looking like a really raccoon who had two black eyes. And, you know, it gets tough, right? And a lot of women from the emotional side go hit on this dude and he turn around and bop. I'm not saying it's right, but the reality is it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Even Xavier Worthy, their breath was impeded. And he ain't the biggest of dudes out here, but he was impeding breaths out here. But to your point, and I understand why you look at it that way, but you're this small on the spectrum of all of these events that's happening, right? To your point about these players. I know that these players, they have a number that they probably use Uber now, but they had a number that they could call before Uber was a thing. Look here, where you were, call this number. We'll get you a ride to the hotel if you're drunk. If you can't drive, how many of them called?
They don't do it.
But I guarantee they called if their car broke down. They'll use that number.
Right. Or if they get sick, if they need medicine, they'll call that number immediately.
They'll call that number. But when they're in a desperate mode and when they're in a vulnerable state, it's almost embarrassing where you have to like call somebody and say, hey, I need help. Right? That's really what's happening. I can't handle it. I can't fix it. So I need help. Like, perfect example. Society loves to pick on, especially from the men perspective when it comes to relationships, of looking weak, right? We just saw Travis Hunter get railroaded. So now what happens when Xavier Worthy gets out? Xavier Worthy had to call his agent to help settle his girlfriend's differences. I know what you're saying. I know the outcome doesn't matter, right? But it's also the same reason why guys don't walk away from fights, because they don't want to look soft. But when they go to jail for manslaughter, 100%, 10 out of 10 times, they just say, I wish I'd have walked away.
Yeah. Well, but my thing is the 2 weeks. You had 2 weeks to think about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, right? So at what point, like, what's the cooling off period? 48 hours, 72 hours, 96 hours? Like,
that's my question with the law. And I think my problem is not a cooling off period, because that person now lives there. If you want them to leave, they have as much right to the home as you do. However, it's your home. It's just like evicting someone. And I think that's the issue when you have a domestic situation. Now, even though he's called for 2 weeks, was it noted? Had he called the police? Was there an official
Yeah, I don't know.
notification or documentation that I've been in this process for 2 weeks? I think the problem is at some point in the law, why, if I own this home, why do I have to abandon my home? Right? Why do I have to abandon my residence because we can't get along? And I know it's a powder keg ready to blow.
Yeah.
That's
but so I also think that I feel like we're so quick to react to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just wish, yeah, I know. It feels like it always happens. It feels like it's always like, yeah, but I had to do it. And it's like, but you didn't. You felt like you did, but you didn't have to do that. So
right.
yeah. And I'm saying I get it. In a lot of ways I don't, because I haven't been in that exact situation.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand it's probably frustrating though, that this is, your home. I'm assuming it was his home. And
Right.
I'm assuming that that it wasn't something they got together. I'm assuming. Let's just assume that. I get it. She's in your space. This is your space. She needs to leave your space. But whenever you were doing everything and it wasn't working and it continued and continued and continued and continued, the next best option was you showing up? Bro, like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard to kick a man out of his castle, and vice versa. If she had the home, and here's the thing, I'll tell you this all the time. I think we were talking before the thing. Street had to start. He coming right back. It's like when we talk about women in violent situations, and you say to yourself, when the dude hit her, why did she stay? It's kind of that same kind. He'd have hit you in your face. That's enough. One is one too many. And a lot of women stay in those relationships until something drastic happens. So,
and I think I think sometimes when I speak on things like this, I think that is my blind spot, is I've never been in a physically abusive relationship. Right. And so yes, I hear you. And so that's the other part of me where it's like understanding somebody else's perspective on what if I see this as toxic. I've always seen this relationship as toxic, but my level of what I consider toxic is not the same as what somebody else considers toxic based on what they're used to or what their experience is. I always tell people, I'm one of those people, like, I didn't grow up in a household where people were yelling and screaming. So usually if I get to the place where I'm yelling and screaming, I've gotten to a place where you either matter that I'm yelling and screaming, or this is going to be the last time we talk, and I want to yell and scream and let you know this is going to be the last time we talk. Does that make sense? So, like, for me, even just being in an environment like this is different because that's not my experience. So it's harder for me to understand that side because I just haven't had that experience. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know. I just wish people could make better decisions. That's it.
Yeah, there's a famous clip. I'm trying to see if I can find it. There's a clip of, I'm assuming it's a couple. I'm gonna see if I can find it. And I mean, they scrapping in the street, like they getting it in like the street.
Couple? Oh wow.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing: when they finish, they jump in the car together and drive off.
And that's just normal for them.
Right. But at some point, you muted, Street. That's on you. At some point,
I think both of them were
that
guys.
Relationship, huh?
I think both of them were guys in that video.
No, that one was a girl. She had dreads.
Mm-hmm. No, I think she looked like a girl.
Oh, damn. Well, it was a relationship.
That's why it was a real strap.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You seen the video then. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Maybe that's why when I put up woman fighting in the street, it didn't come up.
It didn't pop up.
Michigan men don't cheat. But
Go
speaking
Blue
of that,
I know that's
Jen,
right, Jen J.
no, Jen, for the $4.99. Appreciate you, but Jen, there was a Michigan man very close to this situation. I'll leave it nameless, but there was a Michigan man very close to this situation. That put his popsicle stick in the fudge pudding. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm just saying, Street. So, Jim, we thank you for the $4.99.
You know what else? You know what else is also interesting? Anytime these situations happen, is it almost
I'm sorry, and he won the Brewers Award. Yes, he did.
Who? Oh, the person you're talking about. Whenever I see situations like this, I always kind of level set or check in with my own life, and I'm like, is this extreme? Is this normal? Is this, because I think sometimes, at least me, I'm guilty of living in a world where I don't always know. I always assume certain things. And I'm like, sometimes you need to check in on what's going on with yourself by seeing how other people are experiencing things. Because maybe I'm living a different world. I don't even know I'm living a different world until things come out. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And everyone's like, oh, that's normal. That's normal. That's normal. And I'm like, that's normal? Okay. Not saying people have said this situation is normal. I'm just saying, I think sometimes it's interesting to see how these situations, impact your life, impact your ability to reflect on yourself. So
yeah, really felt like, I wish he could make better decisions. Like, really, where you've been with the NFL and women the last 30 years?
I've been around a lot of, what's actually sad? And yes, there's a lot of things I don't say for specific reasons because I'm not going to blow up anybody else's spot or talk about anybody else's experience, but I've been around a lot of professional athletes, and a majority of the ones I have been around are all very respectful, very all the things. It's just the ones that are in the spotlight for things like this, they cast this thing on like all the athletes are like this. And I don't like the precedent it sets. It's like, okay, Xavier Worthy, how many receivers are in the NFL? Okay, I'm making this up, but if we say there's 100 receivers in the NFL and there's 2 receivers that are having female problems, that's a really good percentage. But yeah, we act like this is a thing. And it's like, yes, it's a thing, but it's like, there are really good men that play professional sports that this isn't their vibe. They don't do this stuff. They don't act like this. They don't behave this way.
Oh,
but
cool.
I think this happens to good men and bad men. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it have anything to do with the guy. I think it can happen to anybody.
No, I know, but I think, but we're in this, right? Like, what I'm saying is, I don't think that that's how people that are not in this see it. Because I hear a lot of people that like don't really watch sports. They're like, oh God, here are the athletes go again. I'm like, that's not true though. Like, yeah, they're in the headlight or the spotlights because they're the entertainment. Everybody knows them. But like, that's not all of them, Like, I just feel like it gives them a bad rep.
I think it's like everybody, like anything else, right? Everybody love the train wreck.
Yeah.
We're not going to show the receivers that's passing out turkeys on Christmas and Thanksgiving. It's what it is. It's the entertainment business. Street always talk about the entertainment side of this stuff. This is what gets people to click. People are not going to click because you can see this with Xavier Worthy, and next week Xavier Worthy saves a cat out of a tree. Yep. Might get 5,000 views.
Right.
Yep. It's just what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of it. And that's just what it is. I mean, everybody loves the train wreck, and that's what we're here to see. And that's what media pushes.
Is Xavier Worthy face popping up on the news screen, breaking news? Is that part of the entertainment?
Yes.
It's part of the propaganda. It's part of the, like you said, oh, here they go. NFL players hitting on women again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's part of the reality show. If Travis Kelce and his wife became part of the Super Bowl, I think them getting arrested is part of the reality show.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. And that's remember when we talked about Travis Hunter, it's like, remove yourself from that. Just don't even allow yourself to be the story. And now we don't even see Travis Hunter anymore. Brilliant.
He did. He did.
Stay
Let's just
away.
erase the stuff from the internet for
That's,
that cool cat.
remember,
Hey.
and that's what I said. Stay away. Just
Hey, he went to the depths. He went to the hey man, he took his cootie cat and went in the cave.
Street. The cane juice ain't the only street.
The world, my cootie cat.
Street. Cane juice ain't the only thing out here biting. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
You're right. It's great.
He chose the cooler.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny Jen said it, especially because he's a Chiefs and a Longhorn. Exactly. Like, that's the thing. And like I said, like it's just, I just wish more people could just like walk away from the situations. So.
But here's the thing. We'll never know how many walk away because it's never newsworthy.
That's true. And that you're 100% correct.
So for the one Xavier Worthy, imagine 100 men walked away. So he's the 1% that didn't, but it gets 100% of the news. True.
Yeah. Very good point.
That's just a sad part about it, man. So guess
what? Why would she cheat on him? He had the bag. Why do people keep asking me that? Oh God. Yeah. I think sometimes different situations, people are not good for each other. You're just not good for each other. You just gotta leave. You just gotta leave. So anyways, I think she should have left that house, and I think she should have been gone. But when you're not gone and you're going to stay in the house and he's going to show up to the house, game on. As terrible as that sounds.
And what if he walked away 9 times and to date them, it was the 10th?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. I mean, the good news is all the charges were dropped. I'm assuming that meant she left. I don't know. I'm assuming she left. So, he gets to live on, and the next guy will be in the news, tomorrow or whatever, like the next thing will drop, and then we'll talk about that. So
same thing happened with Travis Hunter. Now, if something else pop up, the cycle starts over again. 7 days in a news cycle. It's just what it is.
Exactly.
7 days in a news cycle.
She's definitely on her side. I'm not on anybody's side. Why do I have to pick a side? I think what happens in society is some of you are so quick to pick a side. We don't know what's happening in their household. I'm not on anybody's side. I think they're both dead wrong. I'm not picking a side. I don't pick sides. I'm a grown-up. I don't pick sides. I'm not in their situations. I don't have an opinion. That's their situation. I don't live with them. I'm not sleeping with either one of them. That's their business. I don't pick a side. So they do what they do. I don't need to pick a side. None of us need to pick a side. It's not our situation.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
I mean, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
So why did he go to jail? I know you said in that county area,
in that county, somebody has to go to jail.
And why both of them don't go to jail? Like mutual
in that county, because usually the goal is to separate, and then so again, I don't think nothing has released yet as far as what happened upon arrival. But when in that county, once anybody is called, somebody's going to jail, and it's whoever the cops feel like in that moment needs to go to jail. That's usually how that county works. And it could be with anything. People have gone to jail in that county with their music up too loud. People have gone in jail in that county because their dogs were barking too loud. That's why this county is ridiculous. I'm sure every state has that one county where you tell everybody hey, avoid Wilco. Don't even. It's Williamson County, but we're don't go. Just if you don't do it, if you do something wrong, don't do it in that county.
She said Wilco. That thing got a nickname.
Yeah, Wilco, and then there's Bell County too. Those are two of the big counties here that usually people will tell you once you get there, just drive, just speed limit, do all the things. So,
man, I'd rather go all the way around. But I'd rather be 2 hours out the way just to go around that junk.
Yeah, so it's one of those counties. But anyways,
come from? Where did the extortion come from?
Huh?
I think she wouldn't leave unless you paid me.
Oh, she was trying to get paid to leave. That's trifling.
What?
That's the only extortion I could think was that I'm not leaving unless you give me X amount of dollars.
The lawyer wrote a letter. Let's see.
Ooh, I haven't seen this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they.
Coach Chase driving through Mexico to get around.
Oh yeah, ¿Cómo está? Where's Rob from Texas? Maybe he can show me the way. Hey, I ain't seen Rob from Texas. I ain't seen Rob from Texas since the dude gave me $50 to accidentally hang the phone up on him. I think he got in his feelings.
Was that after Kansas or before Kansas?
I don't know. Rob from Texas with Travis Spider-Man Hunter.
Put that picture up there, Hayes. Spider-Man Hunter.
Travis Spider-Man Hunter.
That is hilarious. I can't see that.
You're just a hater, Coach. Statement on behalf of Xavier Worthy. We are aware of the allegations that led to Mr. Worthy's arrest. Mr. Worthy, Spider-Man Worthy. We are working with law enforcement, go popos, in Williamson County to ensure that there will be the benefit of the totality of circumstances that led to allegations. Does he have allergies? The compliment was recently asked to vacate Mr. Spider-Man Worthy's residence upon discovery of his infidelity. She has refused to do so and made a number of extortive efforts prior to resorting to the baseless allegations against Mr. Spider-Man Worthy. We will continue to cooperate with the Williamson County authorities as we have full faith that their thorough investigation will support Mr. Spider-Man Worthy innocence. Sincerely, Chip Lewis, Sam Bassett, attorneys at law.
Have you ever heard Rob from Texas, Street?
No, I thought that was.
He literally sounds just like that.
I didn't know. I thought they were Cheeky Chong reading the damn thing.
He sounds just like that, and he calls Travis Spider-Man Hunter.
Travis Spider-Man Hunter, Cervezas.
Every time he calls. Well, he hasn't called in a while. So
no, I hung up on him. He said, "This is how you treat your subscribers."
Yeah. That shame on her. That's disgusting.
Oh my God. Can I tell you something?
What's up?
There's a Raw. I just typed in Raw from Texas on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a Raw from Texas with 75,000 views 5 years ago. Something about music. I don't know. I just put that in there. I'm sorry.
Just terrible. Terrible.
Spider-Man Hunter.
Oh, wait. So there's only one video, you said?
Hmm?
There's only one video of Rob from Texas?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to just let you hear a piece of it. This is Rob from Texas. Check this out, Street.
Why don't you play one of your old calls? I know you have a video.
This is what this is.
Oh.
That's what this is.
Oh,
Watch
okay.
this, Street. Watch this, Street. All right, I'm going to take this last call of the night. I'm going to take the phone number down. Let me see who this is. 5456 in the building. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you're calling from. I'm going to lock the conference.
The conference has been locked.
Rob from Texas.
He's from Texas. Rob, is this you? I need to put your name in here because I don't have names in here. Let me put the name. Yeah. This has when somebody's right, he's in the top 10. I would definitely give him top 10. But to say he's the first pick overall,
he's going to be the first pick quarterback in this coming year's draft. That's what we're both agreeing upon.
No, why do you keep saying we're agreeing upon? That's what you're saying. I can't say that.
Because
I don't know that.
Show.
I don't know that. But anyway, what's your next trifecta? What's the next part of your trifecta?
The trifecta is this.
Here it is.
Can we both agree that this coming Saturday, Indiana is going to lose against the Ohio State? Can we both agree on that?
I could agree with that.
You can.
I can.
Okay, perfect. Now, once whatever his name is no longer just came out on per benefit. Let me tell you how. We're going to meet Ohio State when that they should give the coach of the year to Coach Prime Deion Sanders.
So, Rob, the coach of the year would
Different
no,
question.
because you don't know.
You have to find it where he calls him
Yeah.
Travis Spider-Man Hunter.
I'm trying. Let me see.
Oh,
You mean Ohio?
it's
If you
it's the-
say that your platform doesn't move the goalpost, then that means if Ohio State
Where's he
beats
said? Then you've already said that about expectations.
well, he's listing the last two
Arizona
things.
played against Colorado.
Look at what I'm doing to him, Street.
Travis Spider-Man Hunter was hurt.
There
Oh,
he's
he
just
just said
saying-
You just said it.
Unfortunately, Travis Spider-Man Hunter was hurt. Something happened with his shoulder. That's okay. We
Glazing.
handled that guy. He only had 38 yards reception. 38.
Mhm.
Only 5 catches. Do you know how many touchdowns he had that game?
How many, Rob?
0.
Well, let's say it ain't so.
He threw an egg. So you're telling me that the number 1 wide receiver in all of national football is McMillan. But yet when he faced us this year, we're not talking about last year. We're talking about this year. He only had 38 miserable yards.
And I'm trying to understand your point, Rob.
If you were the GM
Mm-hmm.
and you were there at the game and he only had 38 yards,
Mm-hmm.
5 receptions, 0 touchdowns,
This is the shit I go
would you
through.
pick him up as a first rounder?
I would if I was a GM and I'm looking for a big receiver, 6'4", 6'5", 215 pounds.
Big and slow. Big and slow.
Now, he said big and slow, but this kid had one of the fastest times in the draft. This kid's time was faster than Jimmy Horn.
What?
I believe so.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
I believe so.
that
Let's
is-
see what
I
he
don't
ran.
know why that is so funny to me.
I'm trying to see what he ran.
Spider-Man Hunter.
Travis Spider-Man Hunter. No,
But it looks like
He
it was
ran a
4.5. So
he ran a
close.
4.5. So he was 0.04 of a second slower than Jimmy
400th of a
Horn
second. Yeah.
He
At
called
that,
him big
at
and
that
slow.
size.
at 215. 6'4". He's listed at 6'4", 215. I'm just saying, guys. 6'4", 219 was
What are we
his
even
size.
talking about at this point?
I can't wait to cut this up. Well, Travis, appreciate you. Light this mother love up, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But that's I just think it's funny how people use one game to like go in on guys. And I'm like, you realize that's not how this works, right?
right.
Nobody just gets drafted or not drafted off of one game.
Travis
But-
Spider-Man Hunter.